Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new Ninjago video here on the channel. My name is TannerFishies. In today's video, we are going to be discussing episode 7 of Ninjago Dragons Rising Season 1, entitled Mindless Beasts. As per usual, this episode review will indeed contain spoilers for the episode at hand. You have been warned. If you have not yet seen this episode, it's probably best to watch it before you watch this review. Also, this review will contain my own opinions and my own perspectives. We are going to be discussing the good about this episode, then we will talk about the bad, and finally, towards the very end of this video, I will give the episode a score out of 10, again, just based on my own opinion. So, where do I even begin with this episode? Well, let's talk about the good. I do have some good things to say, but I also have some bad things to say. But starting off with the positives about this episode, I really liked Wildfire as a character. This is the big introduction to Wildfire and her elemental power, which I'm assuming isn't fire. It hasn't been said exactly what her powers are just yet in the show itself, so I'm gonna hold out thinking that it's fire, but she's pretty fun. I like her dynamic with Lloyd especially. The two of them start off pretty rough, they fight for a bit, but then they eventually start to get along once they realize that they are on the same side. I'm glad that she's a lot more than the trailers kind of showed her. In the trailer, she was kind of portrayed as just being a comic relief character, not really capable of having a conversation, but that's not the case, and I was actually really impressed with her character in this episode. I also loved her relationship with the Heatwave Dragon. That was super cute. Love their dynamic. I'm sure we will learn more about that as the season continues. Also, Sora meets up with Dr. LaRoe again, and she is still a super ruthless villain. I love that about her. Just pure evil. She tortures a dragon to get what she wants, and I love her voice acting too. I'm not sure who does the voice for her, but whoever it is doing a fantastic job. It just adds to her personality, but she is eventually outsmarted by Sora. Go figure, right? And speaking of Sora, I love that dynamic. Sora versus the entirety of Imperium, I really enjoyed that. I also thought her relationship with Sora the Dragon, who she named herself after, was also pretty cute. And like I said, I just love the idea of Sora versus the entirety of Imperium just by herself. I think this season is doing a lot of great things with Sora. This episode was no exception. Meanwhile, Eren is trying to blend in with Imperium. He meets a group of teens who think that he's super cool just because he can do basic things, you know? It kind of goes to his head, kind of backing up his insecurity from previous episodes. I liked how that was handled. And I also find it funny that these guys find Eren so impressive, even though Eren is such an amateur at being a ninja. These guys have just been so repressed their whole lives, anything is better than what they've seen. I really enjoyed that a lot, though it did get a little bit old. We'll touch on that here momentarily. There's also a cool chase scene with Eren and Ryu at the beginning of the episode that was entertaining, and I kind of liked the weird Imperium training video that they played at the beginning. They're trying so hard to portray their organization as doing good, and it's just so funny seeing the complete opposite in this episode immediately after seeing that training video. Or is it a commercial? An advertisement? I don't know. And also, Raptin did not irritate me as much as he did previously, so I guess that's improvement, right? In terms of other stuff that irritated me though, yeah, let's talk about the bad. In my opinion, the stuff with Eren gets old super quick. Dare I say it's kind of annoying. Even Ryu is sick of it. Eren is just trying so hard with this random group of teens. It's not really all that interesting, especially once the group of teens start talking about Imperium, what they stand for, what their beliefs are. We saw all this in the previous episode, but it's different now, and it's infinitely worse because instead of seeing it through a flashback, these random kids are just explaining everything that we already knew. Now, granted, Eren didn't really know all of this, and I guess this is more so for the sake of his character, but still, we already knew all of this. The scene went on for way too long. It just felt kind of irritating, and it felt super repetitive. We knew all this already. We didn't need to know it again. Also, the magician dude, Dorama, is here again. Somehow he's smart enough to hack through Sora's prototypes. Sure, I really didn't get the sense of that last time we saw him. I just didn't buy his recruitment. Surely there are better options out there, and I was kind of hoping we never saw this dude again, but of course, given the trailers, I knew that he showed up at some point this season again, and it was in this episode. Surprise, surprise, I didn't care for it all that much. Overall, this episode was kind of 50-50 for me. I thought this episode did a great job at introducing certain characters, and it had some genuinely funny moments, but it felt pretty weak overall compared to the rest of the Dragons Rising catalog. In fact, this might be my least favorite episode so far. I feel like nothing really gets done in this episode. If anything, this was more of a setup episode for payoffs that will come later in the season, but as an episode itself, as an individual episode, I found it hard to find any sort of payoff in the episodes, so it's hard to stay invested. Overall, not my favorite Dragons Rising episode. Again, kind of 50-50 on this one. I will give it a 5 out of 10 for everything that I listed in my review. Definitely the first, I'd say, weak episode of the season, at least in my opinion. With that being said though, guys, that'll pretty much wrap it up for my thoughts here. Thank you so much for watching my review of episode 7 of Ninjago Dragons Rising Season 1. Leave all your thoughts down below in the comments. What did you think about this episode, and what did you think about my review? And with that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed today's video, feel free to like and subscribe, do all that fun stuff, and I will talk to you guys again very, very soon. Peace.